Hello everyone, welcome to Ani Recap. Today I will tell you the story of an anime called Reincarnated as a Sword. I will help you save time by recapping it. Grab your snack, water, and girlfriend if you had one. Enjoy. The story begins with the classic scene of an isekai reincarnation anime, but there is a twist. He reincarnated as a sword, but not just any sword, he is called an intelligent sword. He has so many skills such as identification, telekinesis, and more. While watching his skill he got attacked by a bunch of goblins. It's the perfect time to try his skills. After beating them, he realizes something. After he beat an enemy and takes their magic stone he can obtain their skills and also level up. After knowing this, he try it again and yes his thought was right, he get many skills by breaking his enemy's magic stone. Then, we move a bit to another scene where a black-haired cat girl is being enslaved. She and her friend are always being tortured by her owner, but they can't avenge him because of some special necklace. She wants the power to be free and repay what her owner did to her and her friend. Back to the main character. After he knows his power, he starts to grind more levels and more power. He come to many places and areas, killed so many bosses, and get so many skills such as sword mastery, fire magic, split thinking and so many more. He unlocked a bunch of skills and leveled up his status. Then, he realized something. He didn't know why but it looked like the monster is getting stronger the farther away from him and he mapping this with the area number. He had already beaten area 4 easily and tries to beat the area 5 bosses. The boss was a gluttony slime. In there with his identification skill he searched for its weak spot, targeted where his magic stone and use his most powerful skill to destroy it. After beating it, he got his instant healing skills and dimensional storage. Then, he starts running around area 5 and defeating many bosses in that area. Until, someday, he starts to explore area 6. In area 6 he rests on the ground for a bit and it was a mistake, the ground is absorbing his magic. He stuck in there for a long time and start leveling up a bunch of random skills because of panic. Then, we back again to the black-haired catgirl. Their owner tried to cross area 6 but their vehicle get attacked by a monster. All of them were panicked. The catgirl was blown away by the monster, but luckily she landed in front of the main character. Suddenly the main character told her to pull him off the ground. After pulling him, the main character registers her as his user and suddenly she gets so many skills and beat the monster. But, after beating it the owner forces her to give him the sword, but the main character killed her owner and releases her. Then, they start to talk. The main character wants her to use him from now and then. The girl race was a black-haired cat. No one in his clan had evolved. She need his power and want to achieve it, to become the first person in her clan that evolved. Then, the main character asks her name. She told him her name is Fran. Then Fran also gives a name to the main character. Fran gives him the name Teacher, because he will lead and protect Fran from now and then. After that, they start the journey to achieve their goals. In past, Fran parents are taking her adventures to evolve but in their clan, no one has ever evolved, and her parent died in the process of evolving. Back to Fran and Teacher's journey, they adventure together and defeat a lot of enemies to level Fran up, and Fran hears some sounds. Fran immediately comes there and there is a group that is surrounded by the goblin, then Fran helps them. After defeating the goblin they thank Fran and for the reply, they take Fran to the town called Alisa. On the way there, Fran got much information. In this world monster is divided by threat level from G to S, and the adventurer is also divided by rank from G to S rank. Then, they arrive in town and immediately go to the adventurer guild to register as an adventurer so they can sell items and rent a room. In the guild, they met the receptionist named Nell. She told Fran if she want to register as an adventurer there is a test. Fran agree with it and they go to the test room. In the test room, there is a tester called Donadrand. He is a C rank adventurer. Actually, the test just didn't fears Donadrand. Fran didn't fear him and starts to fight with him. The fight goes insane. He is the strongest man that Fran and Teacher ever met. But, with Fran's sword skills also magic from Teacher they managed to beat him and pass the test. Because they can beat Donadrand the guild was impressed and called Fran to the guild master room. In there Fran got asked many questions but Fran doesn't want to answer them. Until they were called by Nell to register. In the register Fran choose to be a magic swordsman. In the reception, Fran sells some items to get money, and after that they leave the guild. But there is some group that stop Fran because they didn't accept that Fran's item is sold at a high price because of clean cut, but their item didn't. Fran immediately beat them and is defended by Nell. Then, Fran wants to buy equipment and clothes for her, but they got stopped by a dwarf named Garrus. After identifying him, they agree to come to Garrus' place. It looks like Garrus is a popular blacksmith that only sells his equipment to a certain adventurer. In there, Fran got new armor and when Fran asks if she wants to see another weapon, Garrus asks why she wants to see another weapon. Isn't your weapon an intelligence weapon? Fran and teacher shocked hearing that, but Garrus answer it calmly that he has a skill called God Eye, with that he can identify any weapons. And Garrus teach them many things about magic conductivity and many more. Teacher also asks if he knows something about who makes him, but Garrus didn't know much about it. Then, teacher gives Garrus some items to make him a scabbard. After that, they are walking around town and shop for clothes for Fran and also spices to cook. Then at night, they rent a room and get rest. Tomorrow, they are going adventure and doing some G-level quest, until they hear a sound and they immediately come there. Turns out there is a group that is surrounded by goblins. Fran and teacher help them to defeat all the enemy and heal them. Then, they have a talk and realize that one of them is a hobgoblin. The group tells Fran that if there is a hobgoblin it's a sign of a goblin stampede. While they're talking one of the goblins called his friend. Then Fran told that group to retreat and Fran comes to fight the goblin. Fran fights a large amount of goblin and so many types of a goblin. Teacher know that this gonna injured Fran so he suggests Fran to going back, but Fran doesn't want to retreat and fight even harder to achieve his goal. After teacher hears Fran's strong will, he realizes that Fran doesn't want to be protected in temporary power, she wants to be stronger by himself. Then they fight with the goblins until the afternoon. Fran also leveled up from level 3 until level 12. Before going home she found the goblin's nest, but Fran decided to go home and continue it tomorrow. When they absorbed the magic stone the group that Fran helped come back with some reinforcement. Then, Fran showed them the nest and they conclude that it was a dungeon so they told Fran to come to the guild and report it while they will watch over the nest. In the guild, Fran reported this, and the guild master told that this is worse than a normal goblin stampede. Then guild master immediately command to call an F or above level adventurer to defeat the dungeon and ranking Fran up to F level and invite Fran in this mission. After that, they go to Garrus' place and repair their armor. Garrus tell that he will finish teacher's scabbard before the goblin stampede. After that, they go home to shower and rest. Tomorrow they go to Garrus' place to take teacher's scabbard and turns out teacher are very like it. Then they go to that dungeon led by Donadrond. He tells them that their mission is to defeat the king, queen, and dungeon master. But, in the middle of the explanation, they got attacked by the goblins. Then, Fran acts quickly saving people and goes to the front line to barricade the goblins so that the goblins don't attack their team. Then Fran goes inside the dungeon by himself leaving their team behind so she is free to extract their magic stone without worrying their secret got leaked. In the dungeon, teacher reminds Fran not too reckless and to remember her limit, and if they are in danger they will use an item called a Feather of Return. Then, they break through the dungeon. Teacher and Fran agree to just kill the high-level goblin to obtain their magic stone and leave the low-leveled goblins behind. They killed a ton of enemies until they got to the second floor. They scare 2 goblins so that they will return and lead Fran to the main base. Fran and teacher follow them and got to the main base. In here, Fran and teacher make some plans. The plan is teacher use his magic, then Fran can attack them afterward, but after teacher uses split thinking and two fire magic together, they all got wiped out. Fran got upset with teacher. But teacher said that there is still the dungeon master that they haven't defeated yet. Then they go deeper and deeper into the dungeon, defeating an army beetle that has some unfamiliar skills. Fran also leveled up to level 17. After that, they arrive at the dungeon master's place, but before entering the place, teacher gives Fran a bunch of buffs and promising when they get out of there alive he will cook Fran his special dish, a curry. Then they go inside the dungeon master place. In there, they meet a greater demon, a B-class monster. Teacher identifies the enemy. There is also a level 11 goblin, and turns out that low-leveled goblin is the dungeon master. Meanwhile, the greater demon is summoned by him. After that, Fran fights the greater demon first before the dungeon master. The greater demon is so strong, he has a bunch of strong skills, that even Fran and teacher are overwhelmed by him. One time he used some shadow move and immediately moved behind Fran and cut Fran's hand. But teacher immediately heals Fran. They are very confused at first, but then they realize that his skill isn't teleporting but moved to Fran's shadow. Then they had a very hard fight. Fran and the greater demon are very balanced at sword skill. Until one time the greater demon uses his unique skill called Skill Taker. But Fran's skill didn't get stolen because the real owner of the skill is teacher, not Fran, so he can't use his Skill Taker. Then they continue the fight. This time the demon uses his magic skill. Teacher suggests Fran retreat, but Fran refuses it. Then Fran starts dodging his magic and tries to find his weakness. When they finally found his weakness, they realize that the demon doesn't attack recklessly, he attacks everywhere except around the dungeon master's area. Then they try to attack the dungeon master, and yes, they're right, the demon got panic and defend the dungeon master. After that, they target the dungeon master, but they need a better plan because the demon defends him pretty well. Fran and teacher make a plan. The plan is that Fran throws teacher to the dungeon master, and in the middle of the way teacher changes his direction to the greater demon. And they succeed to defeat him, but teacher is out of mana and almost broke. Fran cries over teacher because he thought teacher is already broken, but after absorbing the greater demon magic stone, teacher can heal himself. After that, they defeat the dungeon master easily. The dungeon is finally beaten. All of the door open and the group come to meet Fran. They shock after knowing that Fran defeats a greater demon by himself. Then they all back to Alisa happily. On the way home, Fran and teacher check their skill and realize that they have skill takers and upgrade that skill to max level. In Alisa, they come to the guild master room and got interrogated about where is the greater demon's magic stone. Fran answer that the magic stone is destroyed. Then there is some guy enters the room and claims that Fran is lying. Turns out he is the deputy knight commander named August. In teacher's identification he has a skill called the essence of falsehood. With this skill he can see that someone is lying and make his lie more believable. August wants the magic stone and the body of the greater demon, but the guild master refuses it and doesn't believe August. Then teacher and Fran decide to try their new skill, Skill Taker, and took August's skill essence of falsehood. After taking August's skills, August can't answer Fran's statement and leave the room. Then the guild master explains to Fran that August has such a high level because he is making a party with high-leveled adventurers and grind level from there. The guild master also explains that August is the son of Oln's prince. After that, Nell and the guild master rank Fran up from F level to D rank adventurer. Tomorrow, Fran and teacher go adventure like usual. This time they cook curry because teacher already promised Fran. They cook a big portion and save it in dimensional storage. And the following day, they live as an ordinary adventurer, exploring the forest, defeating a bunch of monsters, and searching for food material to make their curry more delicious. One day when they go back to Alisa, there is someone who follows them. Fran and teacher bait him to a quiet place. Then the stalker appeared. Turns out he is August. August is renting some assassin from the black cat race's natural enemy, a blue cat race. Blue cat races are always hunting and killed so many black cat people from the past until this day. Fran is scared and can't think clearly, because in the past they always hunt Fran and his family when they adventured together, but teacher convince Fran and kill that blue cat assassin easily. After defeating him, Fran and teacher didn't know what to do to August, and then appear an orb that tells Fran to don't kill August and lead Fran to the guild master room. Turns out that is water spirit that the guild master owns. The guild master explains that Prince Olms is assigned the guild to find August and Fran will get a reward from it. Then, when Fran wants to take her reward from the receptionist, he met Amanda. She is an A-rank adventurer that seems like knows Fran. Teacher tries to identify Amanda and found out that Amanda is very strong and has a title called Child Protector. After that, Fran goes to the receptionist and Amanda goes to talk with the guild master. After that incident, Amanda always follows Fran everywhere. Until Fran is annoyed with this and confides with Nell. Nell tells that it is her way to protect Fran. Nell also tells that the guild master is calling Fran to his room. The guild master offers to trade his high-leveled magic stone to make Fran attend some D-rank mission. Because there is some adventurer that jealous of Fran's level up and there are rumors that the guild master is a lolicon. Then, Fran accepts this trade and immediately Amanda comes to the room and decides to also attend this mission. In the lodge, teacher absorbs the magic stone and checks his skills. Then, tomorrow they attend the mission. There is 3 party that attends the mission: Azure Guardian, Dragon's Roar, Forest Eye, and also Fran and Amanda. The leader of the Dragon's Roar leader seems like didn't like Fran. He thought Fran's rank up is because the guild master liked her. Here Amanda and Azure Guardian are roles as the supervisor. Then, they go to the dungeon. In the way there, Crad, the leader of the Dragon's Roar, always bothers Fran but Fran always ignores it. At night they stop and set up a tent. The first shift of guarding the group is Fran. In there Crad challenges Fran to duel because he didn't believe Fran's power as a D-rank adventurer, but Crad got beat easily by Fran. After the duel with Crad, Amanda comes and challenges Fran to duel to test Fran's power. Fran and Amanda's fights are very intense. Fran told teacher to don't support her. In this fight Fran used split thinking that she hates the most to try to beat Amanda. She tricks Amanda by dashing using a sword and attack with her magic from behind Amanda. But, Amanda had a skill called Elf Spirit that can deflect all magics but only can active once a day. And Fran ended up defeated. 2 hours after that, Fran is conscious and talks with Amanda. Teacher, and Fran doesn't know why, but Amanda is so nice to Fran. In the morning they continue their adventure to the dungeon. When they arrive at the dungeon and start to enter it, things are going pretty well at first. They go deeper and deeper down to the cave. Fran talks to Amanda and asks many things about skills and magic to Amanda. Then they start to fight the enemies. They are good as a team, clearing and defeating the enemies, and those who got traps are immediately saved with fire magic. In this dungeon, there are a lot of traps, but luckily they brought someone with trap detection skills, so they can get through to the next floor easily. Amanda also explains that magic is not just 4 base elements, they also can combine elements to get a new element. And because Fran and the teacher had wind and fire elements, they can combine them and get lightning elements. Then, they arrive at floor 4 and rest a bit. Fran gives Amanda his curry to thank her for the explanation. After eating, Amanda explains that there are also dark and light elements besides the 4 base elements. Before entering floor 5, Fran wants to learn lightning magic and ask teacher for it. Then they arrive at floor 5. The enemies are getting more challenging from there, but they manage to pass floor 5 and start entering area 6. In area 6 there are abnormal things happen. The enemies are stronger than it should be, and after teacher identified them, turns out the monster there is a more high-level spider than they expected, so they decided to retreat. 2 of the Dragon's Roar member got poison and confused their mind. They start running around and freak out, and they bump to Fran and step on a trap. That trap is a combination of teleportation and weapon disarms. Teacher got panics, because, without him, Fran can't use both her skills and magic. Teacher try anything to find the Fran location, but he didn't succeed. Fran got teleported to some closed and dark place with a monster called Trickster Spider. She can't use her skill and magic. On the other side, the group agrees to go separate into 3 groups to search for Fran and 2 Dragon's Roar members. Amanda goes alone and brings teacher with her. Teacher thinks in searching his skill. He even uses split thinking to search for some skills that are useful to search Fran. Finally, he found a skill that might be useful, a familiar summon skill from the army beetle. Teacher immediately uses it and summons an onyx wolf using his full magic power, but because of using too much mana, the wolf becomes unstable and attacks teacher. Amanda sees this and wants to attack the onyx wolf, but she is stopped by teacher. With this now Amanda knows teacher's existence, but now that's not important. Teacher just wants to find Fran as quickly as possible. Then Amanda suggests teacher give a name to his summon to stable it. Teacher quickly thinks of a name and gives it the name Urushi, and Amanda was right. Now Urushi's mana was stable and obeyed to teacher. Then, teacher quickly commanded Urushi to find Fran and told Amanda to follow them. On the Fran side, she almost surrenders, but she knows it's not the time to surrender and believes that teacher will find him. She struggles to fight the Trickster Spider, but luckily teacher comes at the right time, injured the Trickster Spider until it retreats, and heals Fran immediately. Amanda comes and is so happy that Fran is fine. Then Amanda asks about teacher, but if Fran refuses it's okay to didn't tell her. Fran decides to trust her and tell everything about teacher. After telling it, Amanda is very happy because knowing that Fran trusts her. Then they heal the 2 Dragon's Roar members and go back to a gathering place. But, in the gathering place, nobody was there. Fran and Amanda confuse about what happens. And suddenly there is a magic animal that leads Fran and Amanda to the rest of the group's places. Amanda and Fran come at the right time and save the group with their magic. Turns out, that owl is owned by the leader of Forest Eye. Amanda and the group start clearing the rest of the monster. Meanwhile, Fran fight with the Trickster Spider once again, and Fran uses the lightning magic that they learned earlier. While watching Fran and teacher fight, Amanda had a flashback. She once parented 2 black cat kids named Keenan and Flamia. In the past, Amanda didn't teach them how to fight because it will make them go into danger, but it just makes them weak and ended up dying, leaving Amanda from this world, and Amanda regrets her choice. Amanda worries because Fran got attacked by the Trickster Spider and immediately helps her and defeats it easily. But Fran is upset with Amanda because she wants to fight it herself. Then they arrive at the dungeon's core and loot the treasure. After looting the dungeon, they go back to Alyssa and report the result to the guild master. After the report, they go to Garrus's place to take new armor for Fran. Fran and teacher plan to leave Alyssa and go to Ulmut. Garrus also tell them that he is also going to Ulmut. Fran and teacher go there through the sea. Teacher wants Fran to see it. They want Garrus to go together, but Garrus tells that dwarf is a race that lives in the mount so they can't swim, so he's going overland track. Tomorrow's time for Fran and teacher leaving Alyssa. All of Fran's friends are there to see Fran off. When Amanda says goodbye to Fran, we are shown Amanda's memory. Turns out Fran is the daughter of Keenan and Flamia. Move to the guild master's place. The leader of the Forest Eye turns out to be commanded by the guild master to investigate Fran. because if Fran is an enemy it will be a big problem for them, but they conclude that Fran is just an incredible kid from Black Cat races. In the end scene, we get shown Fran getting attacked by a guy named Jean Duvix that claims himself as the best necromancer. And that is the end of Season 1. Hope Season 2 will be coming out soon. Before the end of the video don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment on what anime I should recap next. And enjoy these cute clips of Fran while subscribing the channel.
まだ
初めての防具手に入れた。頼もう。
ガルス。
ダンジョンマスター。けど華麗な響き。華麗。それはすごい期待。ダンジョン制覇。お肉。すんごく楽しみ。カレー。お肉のカレー。準備完了であります師匠。口は硬い。エル、あの人どこにでもついてくる。
ちょっとニュアンス違う気もするな。
師匠。
どうした？
ビリビリ。お願い師匠、ビリビリしたい。ビリビリ。
師匠と約束だぞ。
わかった。ありがとう師匠。
少し練習でも。
雷鳴魔術。正解通り。師匠はスーパーすごい剣。